There were a group of children in South Australia that had significant disabilities, so significant physical and intellectual disability, that the system really let down.
Debbie was about 4 and we went to the spastic centre and they said, sorry, she doesn't fit the criteria. She's too disabled to become part of the spastic centre. So we were sort of left in limbo, you know, what do we do now?
We had 2 state-run institutions. One of them was Strathmont Centre. It was a place that housed about 600 people in the northern suburbs. And we had Rurua Nursing Home, which was originally in North Adelaide, and in 1978 it moved into what was called Escort House.
They had places in the Rurua Nursing Home for people like Debbie who were severely disabled. They said, you take this place or you go to the bottom of the list again, and sort of it puts you in a bit of a dilemma. You know, what do I do? What do I do? And that was very hard.
Institutions never serve the individual. Basically, individuals fit into the institution. And there was a view that we needed to change this. Those changes that occurred in South Australia came from the creation of the Intellectual Disability Services Council, IDSC, and in its constitution there was a commitment to community living.
There's Georgina, Greg, Debbie and Adrian. And it was community living. It was a home. And it even looked like a home. You know, there was nothing disability about it at all. It made a big difference to everybody, because I think giving up your child drove a wedge between family and the children.
When we were looking at devolving Rurua into those 4 regions, we appointed a manager for each of those 4 regions. We appointed Denise Wardle as the manager, and the manager of the region was Mal Gaskin. Whereas in the other 3 regions, the services continued to be run by IDSC as a part of an IDSC organisation. Mal had the idea of establishing a non-government organisation, and he set up a project group, which was Denise Wardle as the manager, Dale Mattick and David Felgenhauer, who were project officers who worked on this. And they worked very closely with a number of families. Lee Keach, Wendy Cogan, Sheila Pinkerton and Marge Kite. They worked slowly towards establishing a new organisation called La Vida Incorporated.
And look, it was challenging in the early days. We were under a lot of scrutiny actually. I guess the biggest change came when La Vida took on, I guess, a broader consumer group, and they started to support some people with quite what we was referred to at the time as challenging behaviours.
Amanda was in another care home. They were not doing a lot that they should be doing. I was very, very distressed. So I just pulled her out, took her home. But because all of our children were classed as they did then, challenging behaviours, not many organisations were doing that. Raising a child with a disability is a battle. Their behaviour, it could be lots of issues, trying to get funding, trying to get help, trying to get someone to understand. I loved the fact that it was set up initially by the families, which was just amazing.
So then I guess La Vida had 2 very distinct consumer groups, people with quite profound severe and multiple disabilities, the original group, and then a group of people who had quite challenging behaviours, who a lot of other providers wouldn't provide a service to.
I think as a board that we achieved really well was that we brought in active support. Active support is enabling the client to do as much as what they can for themselves rather than having it done for them. So it's not a hotel model. It makes a person feel valued, and it means for Mark, for him it's about being involved in his own life, and it's not just sitting there and having everything done for you. And I think that was a fantastic model when it got brought in, and we were one of the first organisations to actually do it. It was very highly valued by the department, and it's now become a very standard thing across many organisations. The other thing I think that we did very well was we brought in person-centred planning. We got to know a lot better about the clients that we actually have, learn about what they like, and making sure that during their weeks they were actually doing what they wanted to do. That's a change in thought processes for staff. The name change came about because there was a lot of confusion between Navita and Lavita, and so it was about making a distinction between the two organisations. House because of the organisation, Light because it's a beacon.
It's interesting now to look back 1989 and have a look at whether that move away from big institutions was successful and whether Lighthouse has been a successful part of that move. And the answer is emphatically yes.
I will be forever grateful that Lighthouse took on the challenge of all of our children, the way they did, and the manner that they did, and the timing that they did, when others were just not prepared to. So I want her to have the best life she can possibly have.
Thanks, Mum. God, you're so kind to me.
Thank you. I want her to be the best person she can be. I wanted her to be healthy, I wanted her to be happy, nothing out of the ordinary. That's all I was seeking for her.
She always needs that support in every aspect in her life, but you know, we can all be cared for, but we really need to be supported to do what the everyday person does. I know she's 50, but geez, she's still got a lot of life in her.